Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Maker's Gonna Learn YouTube channel. My name is Tanner, the founder here at Maker's Gonna Learn. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you everything I wish I knew before I started with my Cricut. Did you know I've had a Cricut for over the past decade? Since 2010, I've had a Cricut and been using them. I know you may have been like, I didn't even know they had a Cricut until like 2015, 2016. No, these machines have been being perfected since 2008 or maybe even before. But in today's video, I'm going to go over a lot of the basic principles that I really wish I knew before I got started. The things that really hung me up and got me confused and caused me overwhelm in the beginning, I want to address in today's video. So stick with me, and I even have a free gift for you Cricut beginners. If you're ready to claim that free gift, check out the first link down below. It's a 5-day Cricut challenge. I will challenge you to master your machine like never before and have a lot of fun. So if you're excited to start learning the things I wish I knew before I started, let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, my friends, first thing out of the gate that I want to release you from is having to buy everything Cricut brand. This is one thing I wish I knew more in the beginning, is that just because Cricut makes an amazing Cricut machine doesn't mean that you're going to love all of the material that they come out with. So just for right out of the gate, things that I want you to be aware of that you could either A, save money on, or B, could be a better product. First of all is vinyl and heat transfer vinyl. I am not a big fan of Cricut's heat transfer vinyl and vinyl. So I actually have other preference brands that we'll be able to talk about later on in today's video. And if you're saying, Tanner, I don't even know what that is, no worries. I'm actually going to explain the difference because that was one thing that tripped me up in the beginning. So stay tuned. Next up is weeding tools. Y'all, now that these machines have become even more popular, you can see that there are all sorts of different options for you. So you can actually get some really great quality weeding tools really affordably on Amazon for just unbelievable prices. So we'll go ahead and link these down below. You also can go to Harbor Freight and get a pack of different utensils for very affordable prices for all these different options. Again, they're not going to have the same grip, but if you're looking to save $1 or $2, this is a really great option for you. And in another video, I teach you how to create your own needlepoint weeding tool out of a Dollar Tree mechanical pencil. I know it sounds crazy, but you're able to make this for less than $2 and have a great weeding tool that I actually tested myself and was very impressed with. So again, you don't have to buy just Cricut brand items. In addition to that, believe it or not, there's other brands of mats. There's the Cricut brand, there's the Paper Studio brand, and I even have, as you all know, so much videos, and I have a video specifically comparing Cricut mats. So you can see me do a head-to-head comparison of 3 different Cricut mats. I can't wait for you to check that out. So just to recap, first thing I wish I knew was that Cricut brand everything is maybe not the best way to go for the quality or the price. Second thing I want to share with you guys is layers. I wish I understood layers sooner rather than later, if you know what I mean. It just one day will click with you if it hasn't clicked yet. And this right here is layers for me. So let's take a look at this SVG. As you can see, there's multiple colors, but as I drag it around my mat, it stays together. That is what we want with really nice high quality cut files like you get at makersgonnalearn.com. But here's the thing, you can see that over here in the layers panel, you're going to get 3 different colors, because what's happening here is our design team actually brings it all together and puts a bow on it, meaning all 3 of your colors are assigned a layer, and each color will have its own layer. And then after that, they've assigned it to be grouped together. When you have different layers grouped together, what will happen is it'll be treated as one layer. So what happens is it will now be treated as one layer. So you're going to select this here, move it around, scale it up or scale it down, and all 3 of those layers are sticking together. That is the power of the layers panel and organizing your layers already. Now, the next thing I want to share with you is look what happens when we press Make It. I just uploaded this file. I didn't do anything else. I just put it in Design Space and opened it up. You can see each color is now organized to its own map. So right here, this is all organized to its own map via color, and it's good to go. You may be saying, Tanner, can I change some of these colors? Yes, let me share with you how. So press cancel, and all you would need to do is select the layer you want over on the right-hand sidebar. Let's select the blue, and then come over here to the color in the top left-hand bar. And now you can select a different color if you prefer. So you can go to advanced and you could say, hey, I want to make this darker, and then boom, you can play around with that. So whichever one you want, you can kind of play around and customize. But let's say we need to make this all one color. You could go through and color sync by going over to color sync and just color syncing everything to the blue. Look at how easy that was. And now it's all one color. Or we could go undo, undo, go back to our layers panel, and all we would need to do is select this right here and press weld. This would take a 3-layer image and turn it into a 1-layer image. So you could cut it out on one color vinyl, the entire piece. So let's press weld. Notice I have all 3 colors selected before I press that, and notice that it's kind of dark gray. When it's dark gray versus light gray, you're going to know that the layers are selected. Another indicator is when the layers are selected, you have the X, you have the tilt, you have the stretch, and you have the lock buttons around those 4 corners. Those are great indicators to know those layers are selected. Now, look what happens when you press weld. You can see right here, everything gets welded together, and it's very seamless. So now it's all one color. So you can press undo, and there you have it. You're back with your layers. So if you've ever watched any of my training, I want to remind you, I always teach, look at the layers panel if you're having issues. That's how you're going to know if any extra images are on the mat, anything unusual, because you can go over here and see a list of every single layer. And this was just a brief example with one cut ball. As you start doing more complex designs, you'll be using text, you'll be welding things, you'll have basic shapes, you'll be slicing, and the list could go on and on. But I hope this gives you a great intro to understanding the layers panel is the #1 way to know exactly what's going on your Cricut canvas at any time. All right, guys, you've mastered a brief example of what the layers panel is. This next one, we're taking it up a notch. I want to explain to you the differences of group, attach, and weld. These are 3 very, very important tools that can make or break your Cricut projects. All right, my friends, let's go ahead and take a look at Cricut Design Space. You can see right here, we're working with the font from Maker's Gonna Learn, Addie K. This is one of my favorite fonts. I love it. You can kind of go ahead and space this letter space out just a tad bit. And you can see here that we need to do some manual manipulation. Now this is a little more advanced, but I think you all are with me, so I'm going to do it together with you before we jump into the difference of group, attach, and weld, because this is a real life problem. So we're going to conquer it together. So let's go ahead and press ungroup. And now each letter, as we can see in our layers panel, is its own layer, which is very important. So I'm going to first start dragging and moving some of these letters around. And I'm going to just drag it, drag some of these over, start playing around with these, and just making sure this is spaced out just a little bit better than what it was before. Just needed a little bit of a break. So you can see here, technically it should be here, but I want to give just a little bit more space than normal. Okay, we can bring our H in and everything looks good. This process is actually called kerning, which I love to teach. But now that we are happy with our setup of our fonts, here's where it gets tricky. And this is going to be a great example of group, attach, and weld. Again, real life, making sure we kern our fonts properly. The act that you just watched me do is called kerning. That's where we took a font, we broke it down, and we manipulated the space of each letter to make sure we are happy with it. So now we want to select all of these right here and release. That's dragging and going down and then releasing to select all our layers. Again, on that layers panel, I can see it's darker, which means they're selected. So let me show you what happens if I press group. So if I was to press group, this is where it gets confusing. What you see on your mat is not what you're going to see on your canvas, which is where we're at right now. So what you see on the canvas is not what you will see on the mat. So look what happens. We grouped it together, Tanner, right? Let's press make it. We're going to press on the mat. And look at this. It's taking each letter and just like spacing it out. You're like, I just designed hello. That's to stay together, right? No, it's not doing that, okay? Now let me go back over here. You're like, okay, that didn't work. So let me change this to a different color. I'm going to change this to a light gray, and let me share with you why. So let's select it again, and you're going to the next level, right? Let's go ahead and go to attach. Now attach it down in the right-hand corner, it has a little graphic that is a paper clip. So when I think of paper clip, I like to think removable, non-permanent, I can keep it together, or I could unseparate it, right? That's what I think about with the paper clip. So let's select that one now. You're like, I bet it'll keep it together now, right? Let's go ahead and press make it. We're going to click on the mat. And look at this. If we zoom in, it is exactly where we placed it. But what I want to share with you, my friend, is that if we zoom close in here, you're going to see there's going to be a cut line here. There's going to be a cut line here. There's cut lines everywhere. Just because they're overlapping doesn't mean Cricut knows it's going to be one beautiful image together. So you have to remember that the software can't pick up what you're wanting to do and how you're wanting to do it. That's why you must learn and master the functionality to rock your Cricut machine. So let's go ahead and click cancel. And the last thing I want to share today is weld. Now weld is permanent, and this is the prime example of why you need weld. Any layer that overlaps and you want to turn into one beautiful image, that is when you weld. The way I explain attach is when you have multiple images that are not touching, that you just want to keep together in the same space that they're on the mat. And you'll learn those as you come and go, because you can unattach and reattach to more. So let's press weld and you'll see how your layers panel goes from being 5 different layers to 1. So again, welding is permanent. So once you press it, you're not going to be able to go back. And as you see here, it's now welded together. And if we press make it right here, you're going to see that it's now going to cut as one flawless image, my friends. So there you have it. It's that easy to be able to learn the differences between group, attach, and weld. All right, my friends, if you're a Cricut beginner, I want to just go ahead and share with you when and where do you need to use heat transfer vinyl or iron-on compared to regular vinyl or adhesive vinyl. So that is what I'm going to share with you right now. To my project right here that says welcome to our home, this is a prime example of when you would use adhesive vinyl. Now the way I love to talk about adhesive vinyl is it's like a sticker, meaning if we were to pick up a sheet of adhesive vinyl, we are going to cut this with no mirroring needed. We're going to cut right here on our vinyl. And a little tip I like to know is boom. When you look at the back of your adhesive vinyl, you will have some type of white backing, traditionally with some of these grids. If you were to peel this back, you would see it is sticky and it is adhesive activated. Some people like to refer to this as pressure activated because you're actually applying it onto something, but I like to just stick with adhesive vinyl. So this is how you would use it. You would apply it onto anything like a sticker. So we applied it onto this charger plate. It's awesome. We also put adhesive vinyl on our cars. You can put adhesive vinyl on wood. There's a lot of things you could use adhesive vinyl for, so we absolutely love using it. Now, when you need to use heat transfer vinyl is for fabric. Heat transfer vinyl, or iron-on, which is what Cricut calls it, is going to be, as it's called, ironed on or heat transfer, which means pretty much heat activated, which means this is the adhesive right here. So if you've never looked or felt of a sheet of heat transfer vinyl, you might hear them talk about a dull side and a shiny side. Now, when you're cutting heat transfer vinyl, you always do two things. Put the material shiny side down on a mat, and you also mirror your image inside of Cricut Design Space. After you press Make It, you'll swivel over and press Mirror onto your mat that is heat transfer, because you are having to cut it backwards. The shiny side of your heat transfer vinyl actually represents the built-in transfer tape that is going to help you transfer your design over and put on to your shirt. For example, here is a garden flag we designed and used heat transfer vinyl to apply. You would also use heat transfer vinyl for t-shirts and really anything else that you have coming up, that you want to use fabric. Now, a great thing about this is it's heat activated. It's going to have great durability. I think it weeds a little bit easier than adhesive vinyl due to the fact that it does have that built-in transfer tape, but it is super awesome. Now that you know the difference between HTV, iron-on, and being able to use adhesive vinyl, let me share with you the next thing I wish I was able to master. And that, my friends, was weeding right out of the gate. Weeding is a simple act of removing excess vinyl from your sheet. As you start peeling this up, you can think of this piece right here as the negative. This is what the outer edges are, and this is all of your extra that you weren't able to save. Now, when I'm doing this process right here, it starts getting a little overwhelming because I have two pieces that I need to focus in on. So what I like to recommend for Cricut beginners is to go slow. Focus in on one corner at a time and just go slow. Vinyl is very forgivable, but you have to be able to follow along and make sure that you are not filling up a piece that needs to stay part of your project. And just like so, we've been able to fill up the negative piece. Now, I like to save this because lo and behold, there's been times I accidentally filled up a letter that I actually needed. And if you've watched some of my live streams, I've been able to find it and show you all how to solve it too. But today, it looks like I didn't have any of that, but I like to keep it close by. So I like to stick it to the side of my table. But you never know when you need to go fishing. So now that you've got the negative out, what you're going to do is have a weeding tool, and now you're going to work on going in to those inner pieces. So this right here, boom, inner piece, inner piece, inner piece. And as you can see, I just like to press in and pull up, just like so. So it's always a press in and pull up. Now, this is not something in my experience that you can necessarily teach someone exactly how to do it. It's one of those things I recommend you just to do more of. And the more that you do it, you'll find your own rhythm. Every single one on my team loves to weed a little bit differently, and we love to embrace that. There's not a right or a wrong way to weed. There's not only one tool that can do the job. There are so many different ways to get the accomplished look that you want with many different tools. All right, my friends, next up, I want to share with you just a brief overview of Cricut blades. Now, what I also want to share is that there's a lot of Cricut blades. You're going to hear things like perforated or wavy blade or scoring tool, or there's a lot of different blades here. Rotary blade, knife blade, there's so many. But what I want to break down is the difference between the adaptive tools and the regular fine point blades, because there's many of each. So first things first, let's start with the blade every Cricut owner has, which would be the fine point blade. This one right here comes standard in all Cricut machines since about beginning of time, 2014, sometime like that. This is their fine point blade. One thing I want to share with you, you can actually replace this blade. Traditionally, they come with a blade inside, and they're really easy to replace. So consider this like a bonus tip. Press the button. You'll see there's a blade right here. You can just pull it out. Boom. It's actually magnetic. So you can press the button again, and it'll quickly go back in place. And I always like to remind you guys when using fine point blades to check and make sure there's not debris around the blade. Occasionally, if we're having a bad cut, we will check the blade and realize, oh, it's gunked up. There's a lot of residue, things like that in there. So always press the button and check to make sure it's in order. Now, in addition to this blade, you may see a pink one or a black one. This right here, or black, is your deep cut blade. This is a one designed for deeper material that you could use, and there's a whole list on the Cricut website of what materials this one will cut. And especially if you have a Cricut Explore Air that the adaptive tools do not work for, I recommend this one because it'll help you cut more things like chipboard and things like that. Now next, let's talk about the bonded fabric blade, because this allows you to cut fabric with your Explore machine lineup. This is going to allow you to take almost any fabric with bonding, which is really easy to apply, and cut it inside your Explore Air machine. That is the pink blade. I like to think the pink blade with the pink mat, which is super, super awesome. Now, after we've talked a little bit about all the different fine point blades, let's go ahead and chat about some of the adaptive tools. First things first, the adaptive tools only work with a Maker or a Maker 3. So our Explore Air 3 on the table actually are not able to take any of our adaptive tools. How you'll know it's an adaptive tool is that you'll see this little function right here. This allows you to cut tons more material with a Maker compared to an Explore, because the Maker lineup has 10 times the pressure that an Explore machine has. This will give you the ability to cut things like chipboard, birchwood, basswood. You'll be able to cut like 400 different fabrics, denim, canvas, burlap. I mean, there's so many things that all these blades can do. So I highly recommend you getting familiar with all of them. But some simple ones would be this quick release one that will allow you to put a deboss tool on, a wavy blade on, a perforated blade. There's quite a bit. So this one I really like because you can trade these out. And again, they kind of use that magnetic piece. So you can like piece one on, the double scoring tool, the single scoring tool, all those. You just kind of snap on and then snap off. And then you also have blades like this one, which is your knife blade. So we love it. There's also a rotary one and a few others. So that's a quick breakdown of your blades, just so that you make sure you know all that there is to offer when it comes to blades, just to get started. Again, there's much more training that you can get to learn all about the blades and everything to do with each one. One thing I wish that I had in the beginning was a place that I was able to get files, inspiration, have a community of fellow crafters that have been where I want to go in my Cricut journey, and so much more. And that's exactly why we built our membership community, Makers Gonna Learn. And today I have a free gift for you. It's a free gift for me to you, and it's gonna walk you through getting started with your Cricut on a 5-day journey. I want to encourage everyone that is a Cricut beginner to say yes to that challenge. So check out the first link down below. Or you may have been watching a lot of our videos recently, and you can go ahead and say yes to a membership. I'll leave that down there below as well, because we would love to see you in our community so that you're able to get the education, the training, get access to the cut files, the fonts, member-only projects, and so much more. All right, guys, that was it. That was everything we wish you knew when I first got started using my Cricut. I'm so excited that you made it to the end of today's video, because that means you are going to have a foot ahead of most Cricut beginners. I'm so excited. If you guys enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more videos. And again, we'll see you back here at the Makers Gonna Learn channel real soon, but I'm going home. I'm done. So bye, guys.